Before we get on with the video, I want to make something very clear. I'm really starting to be on the side that I think Atlas might be making the best turn-based games that's ever existed in gaming. What's going on, you guys? Gaming out of here. Lord out of here coming at you with another video. Today we're going to be talking about Shin Megami Tensei Vengeance. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is the correct term going on. First off, I want to thank Sega for sponsoring this video. You know, when they hit your boy up and they're like, we want you to talk about Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, I was like, you know what? I've never gave this franchise too much of a fair shot. It's always been about the personas, and people keep telling me over and over again, you got to try these games. These games are the ones you got to try. So I accepted this challenge, and I'm here to talk about Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Let's go over some of the stuff that I feel is very valid to this. Now, this is the definitive version of the original Shin Megami Tensei. There's a lot of new content on here, and I'm on the point where it's just like, if you enjoyed the previous ones, or turn-based in general, because like I said, Atlas is kings at this stuff at this point. This is something you're going to really want to jump into. The game features a brand new story, demons, and locations. You could choose between two stories: the Canon of Creation, which is the original story with 5, and on top of that, they have added a brand new story, the Canon of Vengeance. They've added new characters to Vengeance. They've also enabled guests to join battles. They've expanded the wastelands, and just a lot of quality of life features in general, such as the rails in the game, a fun new way to traverse the world, auto battling, which I've been very clear that when it comes to turn-based games, auto battling is a huge plus in my book. If you want to grind, it's always nice that there's more efficient ways of doing things. And there are over 270 demons to recruit and command, including 40 new demons. The game will be out June the 14th, 2024. It's on all platforms. And let's get into my history with this. I'm not really the biggest Shin Megami Tensei fan. This is my first entry into the franchise. Now, I did get into the personas. I really enjoyed those. But it's like I said, when they hit us up to sponsor this video and say, yo, I want you guys to try this game, I had to do it. I had to do it for the culture. I had to do it for the community, the realm. I know how you guys are when it comes to this game. And I'm like, I owe it to the realm to come in here, play this game, and give it its fair shake. And what can I say, guys? I enjoyed it. I really did. I got about 25, 30 hours into the game, and I didn't beat it. And I want to make that very transparent right now. I did not beat this game. I didn't really have enough time to sit down with everything going on in the industry right now. But I did put a significant amount of time into this game and the amount of days that I did have it. The first thing I want to really go over is the difference between this and Persona. I've always felt like Persona is a little bit more on the social aspects. And I'm not saying this game doesn't have social aspects. It does. But you could tell this is mainly about having the demons in the world. It's mainly about the story. It's not a whole lot of, are you going to class? Are you keeping up your social links? And I really enjoyed that about this, because it let me put all that stuff to the side and focus on the thing that Atlas does best, which is that gameplay. How's the gameplay in this game? Oh, boy. Now, when I played Persona, I was able to easily get through the game for the most part with their other titles, because I knew turn-based. I knew how to interact with turn-based. But one thing I will say about Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is this game's hard. And there's multiple times where I'm fighting a boss or I'm fighting a unique set of monsters, and I just get destroyed. And it feels hopeless to a degree. But one thing I will say about this game is they really want you to learn the mechanics of the game. They want you to really pay attention to the tutorial. It's not one of those games where you can get away with only learning half the game. They demand you to be front and center, paying attention, and really experimenting. And I respect that, because you'll go from either extremely over grinding to the point where you're just so much stronger than your enemy, and sometimes that doesn't even work, because I felt like I was over leveled for some of the bosses and they still killed me in a couple hits. There is huge skill levels in this game, and it's not annoying skill levels. It's not skill levels that make you frustrated and you don't want to play the game. It's skill levels that make you curious about the system that makes you, okay, I'm taking huge amounts of damage from this type, from dark type, from light type. What can I do to make myself more survivable when it comes to these particular attacks? And I really appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like these turn-based games and you know, previous that I've played, where you can know the system, but you don't really have to master it. Now, I'm not saying that you have to master this. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you have to be familiar with the majority of the mechanics in Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, because if you're not, you're probably going to struggle a little bit at the beginning until you start to really learn it towards the middle of the game. And that's just for people like me that's never played this game. I'm sure people that have came into this franchise, you have a couple under your belt, you're going to be just fine. But I want that to be aware to the newcomers. You know, if you get killed a couple times at the beginning of this game, don't get discouraged. I cannot stress enough, if you're getting defeated multiple times in a row, a lot of the time it's just simple fixes that can get you past that point in the game, such as, okay, this person's hitting you with heavy wind moves that's just doing serious damage. So then what you do, you go back in the essence ability from the world of shadows and you maneuver your infinities to other demons that actually give you immunity from wind damage. Sometimes you'll be facing multiple bosses, or not necessarily multiple bosses, but a boss with some minions, and maybe the minions are doing more damage to you realistically than the bosses. So you kind of like scale out, what can you get away with, what can the damage hit you with that you'll live. Can the minions, if you have to defeat them after you defeat the boss, can you live through their attacks? This has a lot of give and take, and I really appreciate that, because I do feel like turn-based games these days, not necessarily that they're easy, but they have a lot of, you know, safe zones where you don't really necessarily have to learn 100% of the game, and they really want you to know the mechanics at the very least in this game, and I respect that. Now let's go over the story a little bit. You guys know when it comes to story, I don't really go too much into it because I don't want to spoil anything for you, because I know that spoilers are different from one person to the other, and I always want to, you know, be very cautious of that. There is two stories, obviously, in this. There's two campaigns, the creation of canon, the canon of creation, I don't know how I flipped that, and the canon of vengeance. And I feel like the one that I'm playing with, and I'm not going to really go too much into it, I'm really enjoying. I'm following the story very well. It's one of those things where it's keeping me engaged. I want to know what's going to happen next. Now, other games that Atlas has made, they have always kept my interest in the story, but I'm honestly saying that Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, they're really keeping me into the actual story. You know, I'm actually grinding to fight bosses so I can find out what's going to happen next, way more than I've done in just about any turn-based game. So I got to give them kudos to it when it comes to the story of this game. This game's a pretty solid experience to follow, especially when you have the choices that are told to you throughout the game. Now, I'm not 100% entirely sure if the choices matter in that grand scheme. You know, some games, they'll give you choices, but it still leads to the same initial choice that you have. Now, I didn't play the game multiple times. I'm not even through the game once, so I can't really talk about the replayability when it comes to the dialogue in the game, because there are certain questions that you are asked and you can give them two choices, and I don't know if that would change the story necessarily 100% or not. Now, I do know at the very beginning they do ask you a question. Depending on that answer, it will choose between the two stories. So that's pretty, you know, solid too. What I also like is the guests in the game. You know, you can have guests as party members. You can have demons, which is interesting that you can have demons, because like I said, I've never played Shin Megami Tensei, so I'm assuming this is how all of them have been. But what's interesting about this particular one, since I'm playing it, is you have a variety of widespread things that you can do in this game in terms of a party symmetry. I love that. I love the fact that, okay, I'm gonna get this angel and I'm going to you know, infinity skill, give her all the healing moves I want to. I'm going to really buff out this angel, and then maybe this demon later on in the game, because I'm starting to get to some of the stronger demons in the game, and I really enjoy that because it gives you options. I love options in turn-based games, and Atlas has always been phenomenal at this. Now, I do think that, you know, in terms of the demons that are rolling around in the actual universe, it is kind of weird that some demons are friendly and they're giving you quests and some aren't. Now, I'm not saying that's like immersion breaking or anything like that. It's just, it's weird to me, and it's because I've never played these games. But when I look at something like that, I'm like, okay, so I'm fighting these ones, but these ones are good. Now I don't know if they've ever explained that maybe in previous Shin Megami Tensei games, but I did think that was kind of odd to say the least. Some other criticism I would probably give this game is when you're in battle and you lose a person, their health gets diminished to 0. They're just removed entirely out of your party. I like it to where if they stay there, so when you revive them, they just get back up. Because what ends up happening is I'm fighting someone, and let's say they take out my angel. That's who I use to be a healer for the majority of the game that I've been playing. And I'm like, man, they're out of my party now. So now if I want to bring them back, I'm going to have to heal them with another character, maybe my main character, or maybe, another person, a guest, because only the guest and your main character can use items. Maybe one of them will heal them. And then I got to use another change to actually put them back in the fight. That to me is a little weird. I don't know why they chose that kind of gameplay mechanic. Now, obviously, in the Persona games I'm playing, that doesn't happen. I don't know if maybe they insist on you switching back and forth between demons, and I actually do recommend that. If one of these demons get took out, there's a lot more diversity when it comes to how you want to approach situations because of the way that the battle system is set up. Now let's talk a little bit about the leveling system in this game. Now obviously you got your main character, and the way that they level him up is interesting. You got your things called you can learn a miracle. And what a miracle pretty much is a variety of things to leveling up your gauge, which is from anywhere from, guarding to just losing people, counter ones. You got your vengeance ones. I really like the way they set this up because they really give you situations where you can take the fight to the enemy, and then the enemy has the same gauge where they can take the fight to you. Then you got your typical, what we can do is you can level this up because you use things called glory, and you get glory from a variety of things in the game. And what those level up is how it actually does your resistance. You can give more skills to yourself, more skills to your demons. You can also level up the ability to have more demons, and you can level up just your mastery in general. Do you want to have more of a support mastery? You can get more dark mastery, light mastery, just the efficiency of those certain elements that you do if you are casting magic. I generally went with an attack build on here. Now, I do think I'm going to have issues going into the field because this is one of those games, unfortunately, when if the main character falls, the whole game is game over. And I don't understand why companies do this. Like, if you set up a team synergy, I don't think it should revolve around your main character. And if he's out, everyone's out. I think you should have the ability to take the other characters and revive your main character. I understand, this has been done this way for a long time now, so ain't nothing I can do, but I would like it to be a little bit more, diverse when it comes to how you want to actually fight with or without your main character. So in conclusion, I actually have to recommend Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, especially if you didn't play the original one when they released it a few years ago. It's got a lot of content. It's got a lot of gameplay, and you guys know how I am. Gameplay is king. I love my story. I love my graphics. I love the way a game looks. But if a game doesn't feel good to me, if it's not fun to me, it's not worth it. And Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is definitely worth the fun. Yeah, sure, it's got some annoying nitpicks that I can give on your main character dying and just the way some of the, overall quest lines is done. But I cannot say one time me playing this game, I wanted to stop playing. In a matter of like 4 days, I got that many hours. So you guys know I was blazing. I was blazing this game 100%, and I still want to play this game. And I got to give my hat off to Atlus once again. You guys have no idea how much turn-based means to me. And the fact that Atlus never abandoned those roots. They always wanted to innovate the turn-based combat, and they always wanted to make it better. And they've always done that. And I got to respect them on that. And I love this game. I really do. I'm a fan now. They got me. You guys were right, Realm. You guys were right when it comes to this game. I recommend it. And shout out to Sega once again for sponsoring this video. You guys know how it is. I'm always very clear, very honest, very transparent with you guys. I didn't beat the game. I only got about 25, 30 hours into it. And I enjoyed every bit of that. And I do recommend off of that time that you guys enjoy that game. It's on PlayStation, Switch. It's on everything, man. Go out there and try this game. Hope you guys have a good time. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like button. It's always appreciated. You can always sub to the channel. We do weekly podcasts on here. We talk about games. Very game-centric over here at the Iron Lords podcast channel. And until next time, this is Lord Addict, and I'm out of here. Peace.